Hi, my name is Savannah Miller and I am currently studying elementary and special education. Today I will be sharing a little bit about special education, including the procedure, IEP process, history, and more. Special education dates back to the 1400s. It wasn't until the 1700s that Jean Itard sought new methods and ideas to teach individuals with mental challenges. He educated a boy that was lost in a forest in France. This led to a movement in education that helped develop special education and led to further investigations. Before this, individuals by the public eye were seen as demons. During the 1800s, individuals with special needs were sent to residential schools and asylums. Thomas Hopkins developed the first American residential school for the deaf in 1817 in Hartford, Connecticut. Brown versus Board of Education in 1954 was the first court case in special education. This was geared more towards segregation, not special education, but encouraged that all schools should treat individuals equally. This also led to further exploring the special education. This act required that no otherwise qualified handicapped individual in the United States shall solely by reason of his handicap be excluded from the participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Under Section 504, all recipients of Department of Education funds that operate public elementary and secondary programs must provide a free and appropriate public education to each qualified individual with a disability who is in the recipient's jurisdiction, regardless of the nature or severity of the person's disability. The most far-reaching and revolutionary legislation related to education was this one. All people between the ages of 3 and 18 must be provided with free and appropriate education. The education must be in a program designed to meet the child's needs in the least restrictive environment. This federal law, formerly the Education for All Handicapped Children Act, mandated that all children receive an education regardless of the severity of their disability. Suggestions include develop meaningful IEPs, measurable annual goals, and determine how you will measure progress to reward the goals, and develop a schedule for reporting a student's progress to his or her parents. Here are the 13 categories a child can qualify for in special education. First, teachers must get parental consent to test for students. After getting parent consent and finding that the student qualifies for special education, the IEP team must begin planning to determine specific goals to work on with the student. Parents should be aware of their rights in the special education process. IDEA 1997 and 2004 includes rights and responsibilities for parents. It addresses the participation of parents and development of their child's program. Parents will participate in all group meetings regarding their child's education plan and have access to all records regarding evaluation, placement, free and appropriate public education received. It's important parents know their rights. They are allowed to say no and have the right to disagree. If staff and parents cannot come to an agreement, a mediator will need to step in. The first step is child find or the referral process. This is where teachers identify students that may need additional assistance. This is often done by the general education teacher, and then they reach out to a special education teacher. Parents may also voice their opinions if needed. Before giving assessments and evaluations, parents must first be contacted and give their consent to test student. The child is now given multidisciplinary, non-biased tests to help determine what disability the child may have. The team then evaluates data to determine their eligibility and what services they qualify in, based on their test results. The IEP, or Individualized Education Plan, is developed by the team, including parents, special education teacher, general education teacher, and other staff members. During this meeting, they determine goals and decide placement of student. After the IEP meeting, the team will use the IEP to drive instruction and services of the student. Documentation and data are essential in special education. It helps see how students are doing, where they're at, what they're doing well with, what they struggle with, and helps determine changes or updates that need to be made to the IEP. A child's IEP must be reviewed and evaluated annually. Every 3 years, they are re-evaluated for the special education program. So that was just a brief overview of what special education may look like. Additional services that may be provided include South Dakota Department of Education, South Dakota Head Start and Social Services, South Dakota Advocacy for Parents. Additional services a child may receive at school include speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and counseling. This resource is from the Department of Education. It's important to know that we are working in the best interest of the child. I encourage you to reach out with any questions you have and know you have rights as a parent.